Today, I'm going to be showing hidden features in Geometry Dash, starting from hidden things that everyone knows to things that are pretty much not known at all. For our first feature that you probably know, because it's in the easy category, is when in platformer, on pretty much any game mode, we're going to do robot. When you have a cube and a spike just like this, it is possible to stand on the spike just by simply going up to the spike and doing a very hard framed clip. But it allows you to make some pretty cool levels. But that doesn't even come close to our next. When you're a cube and you just normally jump like this is about how high you go. We will put a line there as a reference to where you will be from doing a normal jump. A normal jump will take you that high, but if you hold on the jump button, you'll notice that you actually get more height, as I just showed you. And if we put these two next to each other, it would look odd. Or a little something like this. Now right over each other, you can see that you clearly get a couple pixels of extra height. We are now moving on to the unknown section, which might have some things that you never even thought were possible. First of all, we all know when you go on a jump pad, you go this high, where the white line is. But if you were to jump onto a jump pad, well, if you just look like on my screen, you'll see that the top of our line is definitely higher than it should be. This is due to a thing called jump buffer, I'm pretty sure. And look, that is just the first thing in this category. This next thing, you've probably never even heard of. If you scroll through all the triggers, you will eventually see something called the gravity trigger. Normally, any person would use the gravity trigger to, well, make you jump high. Kind of like that. But in this circumstance, we're going to use it to make you jump in the negatives. By setting the gravity trigger to 2, when jumping, nothing happens. That's because it doesn't just take the gravity trigger. It also needs this white arrow. With that gravity and the white arrow facing down, now when you go underground. And let's say you're like, that's not really underground. I mean, your whole cube was still visible, right? If you didn't see, I didn't even click. I can prove to you that I didn't click. Oh, I did click. So yeah, from one click, you would go from here, and if you click again, you just get shot down. And then go in a perfect line directly to the top, which seems crazy. I mean, what if you don't click? I didn't click. It shows that I clicked, but I didn't. So that's why we only went that far. But if I were to just keep clicking, you can literally just chill underground. The more you click, the farther down you'll go. And there's no way you knew that. But that doesn't even compare to what I'm about to show you. It's kind of similar to what we just did, except this arrow will now face completely up. And now when you jump, this happens. And if you keep clicking, you then go so far out of view that you can't even track the player. I mean, look, we clicked like 5 times. But what if you were to just put the gravity trigger this way? Now what would happen? When you click, nothing really would change. It only affects it greatly if it's this way, or this way. Which when the trigger is that way, you just start flying, and eventually, well, I'll just wait it out. So something bizarre happens. You start getting a steeper and steeper incline, and you manage to go past what the editor can see. If you don't believe me, and you're like, well, that's not true, because you could still clearly see the cube. Let me prove it right here. When setting up a contraption like this, and then adding a simple time warp trigger to speed it up, time warp, 2 times speed, and then also adding a 4x speed right here, well, just let it speak for itself. You officially have escaped the editor. You cannot see your cube, but when playtesting it, you can clearly see that the editor lines disappear, because we escape it. We have now completely escaped, and if you are to zoom out, you will just be brought here, and you will never be able to find your cube. But in real mode, well, it doesn't turn out so good. But it's still cool for the editor. Our final fact is that the Wave is the only game mode that completely changes how you're playing when it's mini. Don't believe me? Just watch this. Mini Cube. It's the same gameplay, you're just small and jump less, which is as expected. Mini Ship. It's about the same thing. So, as you can see, for all of these, you jump left, you just jump a little left. But for the mini Wave, it allows you to go higher than the normal wave. As you can see, by holding, we get higher than we would with a normal wave, which makes it the only game mode that means the mini wave has an extreme advantage. Because, I mean, just look at that sharp angle compared to a non-mini. It takes much longer to get that high, and it's on a non-steep incline. And then for our final fact, you're not subscribed?